In a world that has become an incredibly dangerous and dreadful place by the rule of the demon lord Giabranda, we follow the journey of a hero who is summoned to save it from destruction. However, what sets this hero apart from others is his extraordinary caution and meticulousness in war preparation. Along the way, he meets a goddess who becomes infatuated with him despite her first impression. The cause of this love is revealed, but it eventually leads to an unusual relationship between the two characters, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Restart, a new goddess of healing, is tasked with summoning a human hero to defend Giabranda's planet from a demon lord. Restart chooses Seiya Ryuguin, a Japanese hero with exceptional health, magic, and fighting attributes. She summons him right away, and while he looks like the ideal hero, she realizes he is obstinate and skeptical. Rather than going directly to Giabranda, he decides to prepare by continually exercising. Restarte quickly discovers that she neglected to analyze Seiya's characteristics before choosing him, which claims that he is impossibly cautious. Restarte vows to let Seiya train alone after receiving counsel from fellow goddess Ariadoa. Seiya trains for a week and achieves level 15 using only basic workouts, as well as unlocking magical combat talents, impressing Restarte. When they eventually get to Giabranda, Seiya attempts to purchase many sets of armor and other equipment, but Restarte chastises him for being unduly worried and pushes him to make appropriate choices. Later, Nina, a girl from the town of Edona, gives Seiya a charm to ward off evil. Outside of town, the first creature they face is a simple slime, which Seiya eliminates by going overboard and exploding the entire area in case any bits are still alive. Just then, Chaos Machina, a level 66 demon and one of the 4 heavenly kings, approaches them. She confesses that she was dispatched to explore the region in order to eliminate Seiya before he could pose a problem. Chaos Machina intends to attack Edona when Restarte and Seiya flee to the Divine Realm. Seiya discovers that time works differently in the Divine Realm and decides to use the additional time to level up. Restarte receives a telegram from Chaos Machina 2 days later, demanding that they return, or she would execute one inhabitant every 10 minutes. Seiya is unconcerned since 10 minutes on Giabranda is equivalent to almost 16 hours in the Divine Realm. Restart is surprised to hear that he has reached level 21 when he is finally ready. When they return to Giabranda, Chaos Machina finds that all of Seiya's stats are greater than hers, so she turns into a greater demon to kill him. When Seiya survives, it is revealed that he has been utilizing the fake-out talent the entire time to conceal his true level, which is actually level 37. Seiya then destroys Chaos Machina, earning him and Restart the town's respect. Seiya, however, showers Chaos Machina's burnt remains with explosives, fearful that she will recover. Edona is also damaged in the process, and the once grateful mayor of Edona now begs them to leave in tears. When Restarte and Seiya return to the Divine Realm, Restarte is concerned about Seiya's position. Seiya notices that his level rise has slowed, so Restarte attempts to persuade him to level up by killing creatures on Giabranda. When Seiya refuses, Ariadoa proposes he practice with a god, so Restarte presents Seiya to Cerseus, the divine blade god, who has been training for ages. Restart observes Cerseus getting despondent and even losing weight as the days pass. Cerseus is hiding on the 4th day of training because Seiya has already exceeded him, but she refuses to let him rest. Cerseus is now so afraid that when Seiya eventually apprehends him, he tosses his sword into the sea rather than continue training, but Seiya merely pulls him away to practice unarmed fighting instead. Restarte hears from Ishtar that, in retaliation to the murder of Chaos Machina, the Demon Lord intends to send the demon Death Magla and an undead army to the village of Simul, where 2 warriors Ishtar has predicted will be their friends. Restarte brings Seiya to Simul, where they encounter 2 Dragonkin descendants, Mash and Alulu, at a church. Father Marth is shown to be an undead in disguise by Seiya, who beats him without even drawing his sword. The body is then completely destroyed by explosives. He also destroys the church in the process. He then informs Mash and Alulu that he doesn't need them. Outside the ruined chapel, Seiya tells Mash and Alulu that he doesn't need them because their numbers are too low. They are then challenged by a party of knights. When the nun has resolved the matter, the knights request assistance. Seiya accepts on the condition that he be paid so that he can use a new ability he recently learned to use. Seiya first decides to go out on his own before grudgingly bringing Restart with him. When they get to the location of the zombie army, Seiya utilizes the Meteor Strike skill twice to destroy them. Restarte returns them to Simul when he grows fatigued. Elulu informs Restarte and Simul that she hasn't seen Mash in 2 days. Restarte enters Seiya's chamber and discovers that Seiya used the synthesis talent to create a strong sword out of her hair. Death Magla discloses to them via a two-way mirror that he abducted and tortured Mash. Seiya utilizes the Dimension Blade talent to chop off Death Magla's hand via the mirror just as he is ready to murder him. Seiya then orders Restarte to transport him to Ishtar in order for him to locate Death Magla's actual location. When they arrive, Restarte saves Mash while Seiya battles Death Magla. Death Magla summons Dark Virus throughout the fight. A self-assured Death Magla mocks Seiya by disclosing Dark Virus's flaws. Seiya reveals that he made several magical bracelets out of Restarte's hair that allow him to employ magic traits he hasn't trained with. He turns his focus to a shocked Death Magla after defeating Dark Virus. Restarte and Elulu and Simul are happy that Mash has recovered from his encounter with Death Magla. Seiya informs Mash and Elulu that they will be carrying his luggage. When Mash begs Seiya to be his apprentice, Seiya agrees on the condition that he carry the bags. Mash then offers to take Seiya to the Dragon's Den, but Seiya prefers to first see the Divine Realm. Seiya trains Mash with Cerseus while Restarte trains Elulu with Hestiaca, the goddess of fire. Seiya then informs Restarte that he too has to find someone to practice with. Restarte runs across Valkyrie, the goddess of destruction, who picks on her before fleeing. Seiya tells Valkyrie to train him after noticing how powerful she is. Valkyrie attacks him fiercely until Ariadoa intervenes. She then sets up a training session for him with Adenella, the dark and melancholy goddess of war. Mash has improved after 3 days of training. However, Elulu's training has mainly failed, owing to her lack of affinity for flame magic. Adenella, who has acquired a crush on Seiya and is now bright, joyful, and feminine, begs Seiya if she might accompany him as they are ready to depart. Seiya flatly declines her offer, sending her on a rampage throughout the Divine Realm. When they arrive in the Dragon Village, they are greeted by Lagos, who leads them to the great mother of dragons, Leviae. Leviae demonstrates how to convert Mash into a dragon. When Elulu asks Leviae to show her how to transform, Leviae tells her that her destiny is to sacrifice her life in order to become the mighty sword Exation. Leviae tells everyone of a tradition that says the Demon Lord can be slain with the Exation, which can only be produced when a female dragonkin with human features donates her life. Leviae confesses that the Demon Lord's armies control 70% of Giabranda when Mash complains. Leviae then serves everyone a feast before performing the sacred sword rite. Restarte, Seiya, and Mash are enjoying the feast later that night as the ritual begins. Seiya helps Elulu when she has second thoughts. Leviae admits that she foresaw this happening and spiked their food with a paralytic. Seiya, on the other hand, claims that he merely appeared to eat, explaining why the medicine did not work on him. Leviae makes the decision to confront Seiya. During the fight, Leviae triggers the death sentence necklace Elulu was wearing. When she refuses to lift the curse, Seiya confronts Leviae, taking out half of her HP with his specially designed Dragon Slayer, synthesized from Dragonkin and Rista's hair. Leviae then activates the ultimate wall to strengthen her protection, but Seiya utilizes Speed Seeds and 2 Dragon Slayers to force her into the abyss. Leviae uses her Dragon Breath to slay Seiya while pretending to submit. He does, however, vanquish her by using Wind Slash to throw her down the cliff. When she tries to fly away, she notices that her wings have holes in them, which Seiya caused before she activated the ultimate wall. Leviae is defeated and falls into the abyss, dying. Following that, Seiya is said to have fashioned Exation from Leviae and Dragonkin blood. After everyone has left the town, Rista challenges Seiya about whether the sword was indeed the Exation. He acknowledges only to Restarte that the sword he obtained is not an Exation, but rather a Platinum Sword Plus. A troop of knights then confronts the gang. Episode 7. The Rose Guard Imperial Knights request the party's assistance in fighting the Demon Lord's armies at Olga Fortress. When they arrive, they witness Beelzebub's army slaughtering numerous knights in an attempt to entice Seiya. Following that, the group encounters Rosalie, a princess who acts as the captain of the knights. They then proceed to Olga Fortress. The council meets within the stronghold to devise a strategy for dealing with the horde. Seiya, on the other hand, believes that going to the Divine Realm to train is the wisest course of action. When he accuses Rosalie of being too irresponsible, she approaches him aggressively, and she is repeatedly smacked by him, resulting in her snarling and wailing. Seiya informs the group in the Divine Realm that he dislikes Rosalie's carelessness. He then requests that Restarte introduce him to a deity who can assist him. She leads him to the verdant forest to see Mitis, the archery goddess. While Seiya is practicing, Restarte, Mash, and Alulu are approached by Cerseus, who informs them that Adenela is still upset with Seiya. She offers to unleash Mash and Alulu's latent powers at Ariadoa's mansion. Restarte then goes to Adenela's residence, where she witnesses Adenela's true rage. When she attempts to warn Seiya about this, Adenela confronts him. He is able to calm her down to the point that she is no longer upset with him. It is then discovered that Mitis was observing the incident the entire time. Ariadoa demonstrates to Restarte some of the latent abilities that Mash and Alulu have activated. Restarte informs Ariadoa about Seiya's training with Mitis after viewing this. A frightened Ariadoa explains that Mitis was exiled to the Divine Forest because she is a nymphomaniacal deity who kidnaps and sexually devours summoned heroes. She also reveals that if Seiya hooks up with her, he will be in trouble. When Restarte tries to tell Seiya, they come to see Mitis bound to a tree. She lustfully assaults Seiya and Mash when she frees herself. Seiya, on the other hand, is eventually able to stop her. The party then travels to Olga Fortress, where they discover Rosalie has gone out to confront Beelzebub's horde alone. When they get into his lair, they witness Beelzebub capturing Rosalie. Restarte pursues Beelzebub as Seiya gives cover. When she catches up with Beelzebub, he is about to abandon Rosalie. Restarte distracts him just as he is about to do so, allowing Seiya to launch an arrow at him. After Rosalie is freed, Beelzebub shifts his focus to Seiya. When he tries to attack Seiya, he is slain by Seiya's most recent talent. Rosalie hesitantly tells Seiya about a famous set of armor at a shrine outside the town of Izal, after Beelzebub's horde has been defeated. When the company arrives at Izal, the settlement is in ruins. They are then confronted by Kilkapul, one of the 4 heavenly kings, who reveals that he destroyed the armor. Kilkapul explains to the group that he knows he is not powerful enough to face Seiya, so he trades the lives of his family, the community, and himself in order to summon the greatest of summoning magics. When he sacrifices himself, the Reaper Crossed Thanatos is called. Seiya orders Restarte to transport the group to the Divine Realm. When they arrive, they are astounded to learn that it has followed them. Seiya outlines his idea as the party flees. Valkyrie is painting on the temple roof when Crossed Thanatos smashes her work, infuriating her. She eventually utilizes her ultimate talent, the Gate of Valhalla, to finally defeat it. Despite Valkyrie's warning about how the talent uses the caster's life energy as a catalyst, Seiya is sufficiently impressed to ask her to train him. Mash and Alulu then decide to visit Ariadoa. Meanwhile, Cerseus informs Restarte that Ishtar wishes to see her as she walks to the baths. Ishtar informs Restarte at her home that the final of the 4 heavenly kings is heading an army to overthrow the capital city. Restarte arrives at Ariadoa's residence the next day to observe how far Mash and Alulu's training have progressed. They then proceed to Valkyrie's residence. After Seiya clears up the confusion over his training, they travel to Gaia-Branda, where Volk's Rose Guard handily defeats the Eraser Kaiser. When Restarte questions why Volks does not battle the demon lord, Gaia-Branda, he transforms into a baby. The group is taken aback when Volks transforms into a toddler. Rosalie appears and informs them that her father is cursed. She then orders them to meet her in the Imperial Castle in 2 hours. The group chooses to go to town, but Seiya forbids them from having any fun. They leave the celebration and go to the castle. Rosalie informs them that her father does not have long to live, and that she wants them to persuade him not to confront the demon lord, Geabranda. Later, as the party is meeting with Volks, he receives word that the demon lord's armies are launching an attack on the capital. Seiya takes Mash and Alulu with him, leaving Ristarte with Volks. Volks discloses to Ristarte, while showing her around the cathedral, that the demon lord devised a magical device called Chain Destruction, which is capable of destroying the true souls of gods and heroes. He also admits to collaborating with the demon lord. Seiya reappears just as he is ready to murder her. Volks transforms into a demon during the struggle. Volks looks to have won the fight as he cuts off one of Seiya's arms. Seiya, on the other hand, utilizes the counterbreak skill to deal the same amount of damage to Volks. Seiya has Ristarte cure them both after Volks is beaten. He then instructs Rosalie to talk with her father before he dies. Seiya heals 3 days later and enables the party to have fun. While Ristarte, Mash, and Alulu are out and about, Seiya goes out on his own. Ristarte, Mash, and Alulu spend the day having fun. When they return to their hotel room, they realize that Seiya has gone missing. When they realize he is missing, they go to Ishtar's house. She takes a heartbroken Ariadoa with her to visit Ishtar in a hidden place where all the true souls of the gods are kept. Ishtar explains that Seiya traveled alone to the demon lord's, Geabranda's, fortress. She also discloses that, despite his manner and personality, Seiya cares about them more than he lets on. When Ristarte queries this, Ishtar reveals that his stats have been maxed out since they were in the Dragon Village, which explains why he trained with Valkyrie. She then plays Ristarte's video from a century ago, when Ariadoa summoned Seiya to Exforia. It is revealed that he led a party that included himself, Ariadoa, a mage called Colt, and Princess Tiana, their team healer. Seiya used to confront adversaries impulsively when he was unprepared. They appeared to have killed the demon lord when they fought him. He did, however, admit that he had 2 lives. As a result, he was able to kill the whole party, including Princess Tiana's unborn child, Seiya. Ishtar then explains to Ristarte after seeing the tape that she is the reincarnation of Princess Tiana, and that the sadness Seiya felt after losing her was so powerful that when Ristarte summoned him, he knew intuitively that he had been summoned before and failed. He even discovered a letter he wrote for himself inside his properties page, buried below his fake-out talent, urging himself to always be careful, even if it means making others hate him, and to defend the planet, his friends, and the lady he loves above all else. Despite Ariadoa and Ishtar's cautions, Ristarte persists in locating Seiya and opens a gateway to the Demon Lord's palace, bringing Mash and Alulu to save their comrade. Ristarte, Mash, and Alulu arrive at the heart of the Demon Lord, Geabranda's fortress, to find Seiya fighting the Demon Lord, Geabrande himself. Before they can intervene, Seiya releases the Gate of Valhalla, the suicidal technique he learned from Valkyrie. Before the gate's doors can be closed, the demon lord, Geabranda, turns into a greater demon and seeks to escape. Seiya, using another of Valkyrie's abilities, thrusts the demon lord, Geabranda, into the gate with his sword and seals him away. Seiya's life energy begins to dwindle as a result of the Gate of Valhalla's influence. Ristarte insists that she use all of her Divine Realm healing abilities to save Seiya, ignoring the implications of breaking the Divine Realm's restrictions for the second time. Ristarte heals Seiya's wounds in record time, despite her full power. Before they can rejoice, Alulu discovers the Gate of Valhalla still floating above them, and the Demon Lord, Geabrande, again smashes through the doors, threatening to destroy the entire world with him. Suddenly, Seiya gets up and summons out a second Gate of Valhalla that swallows the previous one, ultimately slaying the Demon Lord, Geabranda, once and for all. Because the second gate was considerably stronger, Seiya's life force faded faster than Ristarte could restore it. Thus, he said his goodbyes to his comrades before smiling and vanishing. Rosalie subsequently knights Mash and Alulu, and Ristarte returns to the Divine Realm. Ishtar later summons her to be punished for breaking the laws of the Divine Realm. She is informed that she will be sent to save an even stronger world where its demon lord, Geabranda, has already taken control but without any of her divine healing ability, and if she fails, she will be robbed of her divinity. Before Ristart can accept, Ishtar explains that the consequences of the chain destruction were lifted when the second gate of Valhalla was activated, implying that all subsequent deaths can be reversed. Ristarta receives her hero's information letter and sheds tears of pleasure when she reads Seiya's name and the exceedingly careful attitude written on it. Thank you for watching this recap. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more anime recaps. We have tons of other recaps and discussions on other anime, so be sure to watch them all to stay up to date. Until next time, take care and have fun watching.